What would change if you stopped caring about other people's opinions? As a professor of finance and economics, I'm familiar with the studies and statistics on overspending, but in particular on how so much of our overspending comes from our biological need for social approval. Spending more than we can afford hurts and causes long-term catastrophic consequences. So if you spend too much and save too little, then this video is for you, because in the next few minutes I'm going to outline the reasons why you might be spending too much. But more importantly than that, I'm going to give you very simple tactics and how you can save 20% more in just 20 minutes. To make this even easier, I've included a step-by-step guide in the description below, so feel free to download it. It's completely free and is a foolproof way to get these results. Now, to get started, I want to get right to the heart of it and share something useful, and that is the social context in which we all spend money. We live in a culture of comparison, from the clothes we buy to the vacations we take. So much of what we buy is influenced not by our true needs, but actually by social approval. We want to signal success, worth, belonging. The truth is, you are not and should not be defined by other people's opinions. And in fact, when you let this go, when you stop this letting external validation govern your decisions, something really remarkable happens. You really free yourself from this pressure. Think about your own finances for a second. Imagine money that was spent on unnecessary possessions and lifestyle choices that you didn't really want, now being reallocated to things that are much better for you, to create much more meaning in your life. Imagine the difference that would make. Suddenly you'd have more control over your finances, your life, and your own happiness. At this point, it's worth considering how we got there. As humans, we're wired to compare. From birth, we use comparison to understand our place in the world. It's built into our biology, it's built into our evolutionary history. In small localized groups, families, tribes, and villages, comparison was a survival mechanism. It helped us understand where we stood, what we needed to improve, and what our role in the group was. In these small groups, it was natural and practical. But with the advent of the internet and social media, this whole process has changed, and not really for the better. We used to compare ourselves to close-knit groups, and now we compare ourselves to people who aren't even our peers, people we don't know, who don't know us, and who live lives entirely different to our own. As you will know, on social media, we're constantly exposed to people's curated and filtered lives. And though this is easy to recognize that social media is just a highlight reel, it's not so easy to withstand the pressure to keep up. Comparing ourselves to others, especially those that don't share our same context, distorts the perception of our own value. And how do we react? We react by trying to change the perception of this value by consciously or unconsciously buying things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't really even know. But you don't have to live this way. Starting today, you can take control and make choices that align with your real values, not society's pressures. And this brings us back to the original question. What would change if you stopped caring about other people's opinions? Well, it turns out you would save a lot of money. Let me explain. The fundamental truth that is often overlooked in modern life is that quality of life is not something that just happens to us, it's something that we create. And the most critical tool you have in shaping your life is the ability to allocate your money effectively. Instead of buying stuff to post on social media, you can set up a savings fund and then use that money to see your family more regularly, to pay off debt, or to even just improve your health. Or instead of overspending on clothes to fit in at work and betray a professional image, you could invest that money into industry skills to increase your real value and earn more. Just ask yourself, do you buy things to impress others? But more importantly, ask yourself how your life would look, how different it would be if you didn't. Let's look at the statistics. Bankrate's 2022 survey and NerdWallet's 2023 survey show that 50 to 60% of consumers overspend due to comparison culture. Other studies, including the one from the American Psychological Association, reveals that people who regularly engage in social comparison have heightened financial stress. This stress, in turn, contributes to lower savings rate, as people tend to prioritize keeping up with others instead of securing their own future. The studies are emphatic. The consensus is that reducing comparison-driven spending can increase your savings between 10 to 30%, depending on your current habits. Think about that for a second. Imagine just saving 10% more in the coming year. That's a tangible, practical change. It's not just a financial benefit, it can bring a lot more value, quality, and meaning to your life. So what can you do differently? What practical step can you take to avoid the comparison trap and save more money? Well, the simple answer is automate your savings. This is the definition of a quick win. Low effort, high impact. Low effort because it just takes a few minutes to do, and high impact because you can save thousands, if not tens of thousands, over your lifetime. This practical step is a life hack. Studies consistently show that people who automatically save their money save 20 to 40% more than people who don't. By moving money out of sight and out of mind, it reduces impulse purchasing and reduces purchases made from external pressures. No word of a lie, this 20-minute task is a game changer. And here's how you get started. First of all, just choose a target savings rate. Now, a good target rate to aim for is 20%, but you can start at 10% or 5%. The whole thing here is just to get started. And in fact, in the downloadable link that I've included, you can look at that and that will help you with the math. Now, the next thing you need to do is just determine the transfer frequency. Is it going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly? Basically, what you want to do is look at your pay packet, see when it comes into your account, and just do it right after that. This way you save before you spend. And then finally, just log into your bank account and schedule that transfer and direct the money towards the best high yield savings account within your bank. Remember, automatic savings reduces comparison-driven spending by making saving a consistent and effortless habit. So look, the opinions of others are everywhere and they're shaping our lives and dictating our behavior, and often without us even realizing it. But while social approval is part of being human, this external judgment, this social comparison comes at a cost, a financial cost. The truth is that caring too much about other people's opinions drives unnecessary spending and causes financial burden. This doesn't have to be how it is for you, so just automate your savings. This removes the need for willpower and reflection. It becomes a game of math, and one now you can win.